Today I have a question for you. And the question is this: can this be the best year of your life? And as I ask you this question, what happens? What takes place in your mind? You know what takes place? Majority of the minds, they almost start searching as to why this will not be the best year of their life. The economy is declining. You might be thinking of the job that you're stuck in, or the life that you're stuck in, or the problems that surround you. And mind starts searching like this, that what you can't change. Essentially, what the mind will do right now when you are faced with this question, it will almost be searching for things that you have no control over or that you feel that you just can't change. For example, the pandemic. Why does the mind do that? And I was about a couple of days ago, we were in a coaching session and we were discussing with this guy on the other side, a very senior industrialist, and we were going through life, depressing conversations, what worked, what didn't work. So that conversation got over, and in the evening as I was by myself, I was thinking to myself, what is it that I don't want in my life? And there were a whole lot of things, obviously, like any normal life. There are things that you don't want in my life. And then I started thinking about this one thing that I want in my life, but I don't have it. And I was feeling very disempowered. And then I told myself something, and listen to this carefully, it's going to change your life. I told myself something which changed my entire outlook almost instantly, and I felt completely different and empowered. And you know what that is? It's such a simple thing. I told myself it's not even half time. No matter how old are you might have more life ahead than I do, or you might have lesser life ahead than I do. But it's not even half time. Will the second half of your life be better, or will you relive the first half? And I asked myself this question, and I think my entire thought process led to an instant change. Will your second half of life be monumentally, enormously better than the first half has been? And no, life won't be better is the normal conversation people tend to have in their heads. And why won't it be better? You might have a job that you don't like. You might be in a home that you don't like. You might be in relationships that you don't like. You might not have love in your life. You might have money problems. You might not be at peace. You might hate your country. You might be struggling with basic human rights. Or you might have issues with your kids. You might have lost someone you love. There might be worry, stress, pain. Your health might not be good, and you might be feeling stuck and totally stuck and even more stuck. But guess what? That was the first half. Will the second half be the same as the first half, or will the second half be enormously better? And it's up to you. The first half is a lie. It's true, of course. All of these things happen to you. I'm not taking it away from that. I don't want to mock your life. Everything happened in your life. But if you keep living that first half into the future, then it's a lie. Because what you are really doing is you're keeping the dead past alive. What will your second half be? Will it be a repetition of what the first half has been, or will it be what you want it to be? Because the beauty is that you decide. You decide right now. You will decide today with me that whether your second half is going to be something that you've always wanted life to be, or whether your second half is just going to be like your first half. Which essentially means, are you going to be a repetitive moron, go on living the same first half over and over again? Because you've already seen what happens in the first half. What's the point of it? Or are you going to be a breakthrough? You're going to break through the pattern and be a creator. And the wonderful thing about being a creator is you can create anything you want, and you decide. You can accept it, you can worry it, you can live it, or you can change it. But it's up to you. And there is a thing that people struggle with breakthroughs, in my experience, of doing something completely different. They get lost into this conversation that, am I being selfish by creating something for me? What about other people in my life? And I want to answer that question for you right now, because I thought about it for myself. What is right for you is right for the ones you love, is right for the ones you care for, is right for everyone that you know. And you know that. If it's right for you, if it's going to keep you happy, then you're going to keep people around you happy. Can this be the best year of your life? Can this be the best year of my life? And why will this not be? And this question gave me something that I didn't have before, and that the reason I was putting away recording this course. And I found something, and that something was a purpose. And can you find it? Why will this not be the best year of your life? Who says that it can't be? Of course it can be. It's not that it can't be. You will make a choice that it won't be, but that's not the same as it can't be. It bloody well can be. For some people it will be. Will it be for you or not? And why not? At the end of the year, you might turn around and say that no, it's not the best year of my life, and you'll have a complete list of reasons of because this went wrong and that went wrong. I tried, I failed, she didn't let me, he didn't let me, and all of that. But there is a fundamental reason why you wouldn't answer this question in the affirmative. And you know what that fundamental reason is? You don't love yourself enough to give to yourself what is truly wonderfully can be and should be yours, because it's your life. It's nobody else's life. There are people who are connected to you, and we're all connected, right? Your families are connected to you. Your friends are connected to you. If you loved all of them, and if you really loved your own self, wouldn't you do what's the best thing for you to do? Because no one else will. You know, we grow up and we have all these stories of sacrifices fed into our life. We kind of taught that sacrificing is good. Oh, I sacrificed my life for my children. I sacrificed my career for my parents. I sacrificed my dreams for my wife. I sacrificed my this thing for this one and this thing and this. And we celebrate sacrifice, right? And when we live like that, what do you think your children are going to grow up to be? They're going to love sacrificing too. Oh, now I must repay my mom back and I must repay my dad back. I've learned how to sacrifice. So now I must sacrifice my career and we just like over attach this value of sacrificing in life. And what we forget is that you deserve to love yourself, not to sacrifice your life for something. Because if you do that and you pursue and you create something that's going to be good for you, it's going to be good for everyone around you, whether they like it in that moment or not. You owe that to yourself. And it is a very fundamental question to answer, because if you don't deal with this thing that can I pursue my things and my dreams and my goals and what will people think, if you haven't answered that, there is no way for the second innings or for the second chapter of your life to be better. It'll end up being the same as the first half was, and you will be able to do nothing about it. Can this be the best year of your life? Actually, this question should be asked, will this be the best year of your life? Because it's a decision. Let me tell you a story. The story is about two monks. Now, these two monks were in the forest somewhere, meditating, and then they had to cross a river to get to their home. And they spotted a young girl, and the young girl was crying right next to the edge of the river. And this girl was crying, and monks, of course, by their upbringing and religious practices, are not supposed to see women or even speak to them. So this woman who was very scared, this young girl who was very scared, came to one of the monks and said, "Look, I'm lost. My parents have gone ahead. I don't know what to do. Can you help me cross the river? I don't know how to swim." So these two monks looked at each other, and then by default, instinctively, they looked down. But this one monk, he carried the girl, he held the girl and helped her cross the river. And they crossed the river and they started back on their journey, these two monks. And these two monks were quiet, but the other monk was livid. He was angry. He turned to this monk, "What the hell have you done? You carried that girl, you defied your religion, you've defied your practice. This is what we were taught. What are you doing with it?" And he went on and on and on for about an hour or so till their journey ended. And finally, this monk who'd actually carried the girl turned around to this monk. "Look, I carried that girl back there and helped her cross the river. But you know what, sir? You are still carrying her. You are still carrying her. Are you still carrying her? Are you still carrying the first half of your life, dragging it about, my friend? Because it's gone. It doesn't exist. It's over. Let's talk about the second half. And the second half, will this be the best second half that anyone's ever designed? And why won't it be? Because it can be. I'm reminded of a quote I read long back. I think it was in a temple or something. It's a religious quote. It's from a scripture. I think the Hindu scripture, but that's not the point. But the quote was something like this: "Who you are is what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. And as your deed is, so is your destiny." Can you absorb that? Who you are is what your deep driving, deep rooted emotional desire is. As your desire is, so is your will, or so is your commitment, or so is your momentum in that stage. And as your will is, as your commitment is, so is your deed. And deed is what you will do, is your action. And that action is the destiny. Nothing else is written in stone. It's how you will act, will determine what will be your end destination. Will you act like you've always acted and live your first half of your life all over again? Or will you act differently and make this the second half can be whatever you want it to be? And let's get on with it. The problem happens that we kind of develop a static paradigm, that we assume that if something's done or something's happened in life, it has to remain done. Now, suppose, obviously, sometimes we can lose someone we love and that does remain done, but that's a static paradigm. Nothing has to remain done. There is nothing that cannot be changed, especially if it's alive and you are alive. Life is alive. There's nothing that has to remain done just because it happened or just because an event occurred or just because something happened in the past. Nothing has to remain done. That's a static paradigm. And I want to introduce you to what we call the dynamic paradigm. And the dynamic paradigm begins with having an insight that normally people don't have the opportunity to get. So we are discussing today, it might give you an insight. It's about knowing something that others don't know, or knowing something different, or knowing something about yourself that you didn't know. And that is a unique position to operate from. That gives you uniqueness. And can that knowing, and this knowing is different from learning, by the way. The test of learning is, I learned something. Did it lead to a change in behavior or action or something or the other? If it didn't lead to a change, then it remains as knowledge. That's not learning. So insight drives action. And can that insight happen continuously gives you an advantage. That can I continuously get insights far greater in pace and far greater than in quality than other people do, and that gives me an advantage. And from that advantage, I move to acquiring certain skills or habits, which we call execution capability, and that gives you the ability or the leverage over and above the rest to be able to pursue your goals or dreams and stuff. Now, while you're executing, you need a certain bit of creative agility in a manner to add dimension to you, because you need to then unlearn something, relearn something, read something, acquire another insight perhaps, and that's the creative agility dimension. And when we move forward with that creative energy, you become the driver of an outcome. And that's a dynamic paradigm, a unique knowledge that creates continuous advantage and leverage upon creative dimensions that you already possess to drive your outcomes in life. I want to bring you back to the question that I started this particular section with. Will this be the best year of your life? Don't lose sight of that question, because it can be the best year of your life, and it will be the best year of your life. And not only that, it's not even half time yet. Let's redesign, let's relook at the second half of life, and let's use these principles to maybe open out something for you that hasn't opened out so far. And hopefully, you will get to the silence that we began this section with.